Hi everyone, Donut here. Today we're going to be taking a look at body camera footage from a shooting that took place in Vineland, New Jersey recently, and we're also going to be taking a look at a list I made on Twitter. Well, you guys made most of it. Vineland police were called to a duplex after it was reported that a man was acting suspiciously on the front porch and he did not live there. The primary officer to arrive on scene first saw 37-year-old Rashawn Washington standing off to the driveway holding something that was wrapped in a t-shirt in his hands.
What's in your hand? Put it on a soldier. What's in your hand? What's in your hand? Drop it. Put it down. What's in your hand? You live here? You live here?
The reason that I'm putting this video up before we go over the list that explains that police officers don't shoot people just for being black is because I just wanted to show that police officers aren't here to shoot him.
Nobody wants to kill you. I don't want to.
He's a black male, right? Cops are supposed to roll up on scene, see him reaching for his waistband, and shoot him at least 27 times. Well, not quite. The news videos that you may see about this are 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. They sit there for 26 minutes and talk to Deshaun, trying to calm him down.
Put your hands up.
No.
Drop that.
No.
Drop it.
No.
Drop it.
No. Blow my brains out.
Nobody wants to blow your brains out.
What's
What's wrong? What's wrong? Something's wrong, man. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. He won't put down what's in his hand, and he won't tell me what it is. We don't want to kill you. Drop it. Put it down. Put it down. What the fuck you got to say? Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Just drop it. Come on, man. Talk to us. Well, there is, man. What's going on?
He keeps telling the police officers to shoot him. He keeps saying he has an explosive device in his hands. Eventually, there are 5+ officers on scene.
I understand you. If that tip comes off, it goes off.
240 update. Somebody has something in his hand covered by a shirt. We can't tell what it is. He says if he takes off the lid, it'll explode and it'll take all out.
Copy, you want fire to stand by?
Affirm. There's something yellow sticking out of the butt end. We cannot tell what it is.
The officers try everything they can to de-escalate the situation. That's when he rushes the officers, and the sergeant with the UMP fires 3 shots, taking him down.
Get back! Stay back! Don't! Damn it! Pull back! Pull back!
It turns out he had garden shears wrapped in the t-shirt in his hand. EMS were called, but unfortunately he passed away. This was 100% suicide by cop. Reports state that he had just gotten out of prison and he was upset because he didn't have his girlfriend or his kids anymore. Point is, they didn't shoot him because he was black. They tried for 26, 27 minutes to calm him down before he rushed them. They did everything they could to stop from shooting this man. It's been quite a while since I made a video like this. I know I made one last year. I think it's been over a year, so I felt like it was due time to do another one. We're going to go over the statement of they would have shot him if he was black. I don't like getting into race. I think it's a stupid argument, but just to prove the point to some people who are probably going to watch this video and still not believe me, we're going to go over it. I'm always pointing out context and facts on Twitter, and in doing this, I usually bring on a crowd of people who aren't particularly fond of the 5-0. I was having a discussion with a young lady called The Realist on Twitter, and she said it's not being brainwashed, it's what I see repeated over and over again, and if race isn't a factor, name one black man that has shot at a cop and survived. I'll wait. So I says, here you go. Here's a guy that killed 8 people, including a sheriff's deputy, and he was taken alive. To which she replied with, "You must not be able to read. I said name a black man that shot at a cop, and is still alive." Then it hit me. I'm arguing with someone who doesn't even know a sheriff's deputy is a police officer. I didn't have the time or crayons to explain to this woman that yes, a sheriff's deputy is in fact a cop, so I moved on with my life and created a list that anyone can bring up for reference when someone says, well, they would have shot him if he was black. I retweeted what she said and I asked you guys, where have you seen any cases where a black person has shot at a police officer or even shot and killed a police officer or did some horrible shit and they ended up being taken alive? Let's start off with Timmy Kenner. Got kicked out of his apartment complex, so he returned a day later and stabbed 9 people at a 3-year-old's birthday party. 6 of the victims were children, and the 3-year-old who was celebrating her birthday party was killed in the attack. Kenner was arrested without shots being fired. Corey Ali Muhammad went on a shooting spree in Fresno, California and killed 3 people. He stated later on that he was specifically targeting white people. Arrested without being shot. South Carolina, Malcolm Orr shot Officer Quincy Smith several times.
Take your hands out your pocket! Shots fired!
Smith is still recovering, and Orr was just sentenced to 35 years in prison for attempted murder. He was taken alive without shots being fired at him. Westerville, Ohio police officers Eric Joring and Anthony Morelli were shot and killed as they were walking into an apartment on a domestic dispute call. Quentin Lamar Smith was arrested and charged with 2 counts of aggravated murder. Markeith Lloyd killed his pregnant ex-girlfriend and executed Officer Deborah Clayton in a Walmart parking lot. He lost an eye somehow, but he was arrested and taken in alive. Brandon Bradley murdered Brevard County Deputy Barbara Pill on a traffic stop after it was reported he was stealing AC units from a motel. She reached into his vehicle to grab his keys after he refused to exit, and he shot her 5 times at point-blank range. He was arrested, convicted, and could not be killed by the state of Florida because 2 people out of a 12-person jury voted against a death penalty. Lakewood, New Jersey officer Christopher Matlaws pulled his patrol car up beside John Mel Crockham, who had several outstanding warrants for weapons charges. Crockham walked up to the police cruiser, pulled out a gun, and shot the officer 3 times in the face and chest. He was arrested and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Just this previous weekend, Andre Antonio Parker carjacked someone, fled from police, crashed the stolen car, shot at police, then led police on a manhunt. A Bork nommed on his ankle a little bit. He was arrested and charged with grand theft auto, aggravated fleeing to elude, and leaving the scene of a crash. 20-year-old Isaiah Martin shot at police officers in Shreveport, Louisiana last month. He was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder. Demetrius Montgomery shot 2 Charlotte, North Carolina officers in the back of the head, killing them while they were walking through a parking lot on a disturbance call. Montgomery didn't even have anything to do with the call they were on. He was arrested, sentenced for their murders, and now resides in a cushy, medium security prison. 45-year-old Everett Miller ambushed and killed 2 police officers in Kissimmee, Florida. He had 2 guns on him at the time of his arrest, and no shots were fired. But donut, this just proves that you can take people into custody without firing any shots. You're absolutely right, but it also proves that every single arrest is different. Every one of these situations involved a different police officer who has different training, different life experiences, a different background, and different departmental policies. Hell, while we're here, let's go over some other things that people like to throw in my face. Instead of actually researching and reading something, it's just so much easier to say, well, that's white privilege, or, well, they did it because he was black. The first thing I want to talk about is something I constantly see in police officer shootings, incidents, anything in the comments. Why is Dylann Roof still alive, but police officers had to kill Philandro Castile or Mike Brown? That's because he was caught on a traffic stop in North Carolina in a controlled environment with several police officers there. I mean, it also has something to do with the fact that the police officers that arrested him were not Geronimo Yanez or Officer Darren Wilson. Different cops, different reactions, different training, different scenarios. As much as I wish the officer would have put a bullet in this little shit's head, that's not how it went down. He stuck his ID out the window. He said, "I'm Dylann Roof." Officers covered him with their guns while another officer pulled him out and put him in handcuffs. He complied the entire time and didn't try to fight the officers. Jesus Christ, if I had $1 for every time someone said he killed 9 people and police take him to Burger King, insert high-profile shooting person's name here, reach for their waistband, now they're dead. There's some wild idea out there that police took this psycho to Burger King. People are imagining police sitting him down around other customers, ordering what he wants, getting him a milkshake, maybe even putting a little cardboard crown on his head. That didn't happen. It never happened. Shelby Police Department had him in an interrogation room waiting for federal authorities and Charleston authorities to come interrogate him and take him. He was a person in custody. He was in transport. He was not at a jail where they could feed him. If you deny someone in custody food, no matter how heinous the crimes, it can always come back and bite you in the ass in court. Not only that, but providing someone with food, drinks, cigarettes, it can influence them to be more open with what they say. Don't believe me? Here, let criminal defense attorney Joey Jackson, who is a CNN crime analyst, explain it to you.
An officer arresting you and transporting you to a precinct. Although there are rules there, they're a little more liberal because you want to give food, potentially, cigarettes, potentially, soda, potentially, to a prisoner to get them to be cooperative, to talk to you, and to give you information. So at that level, it could be used as an effort to induce cooperation from a particular person who's accused of a crime.
That video only got 1,500 views on YouTube compared to the millions of shares of the headlines that said, "Police take Dylann Roof to Burger King." You want to dig into this a little bit deeper? Burger King is one of the closest fast food restaurants to the police station. Someone was probably like, "Hey, can someone go grab this little fucker some food? We don't want to make any mistakes that would jeopardize the case, like violate his civil rights." I know, I agree, he shouldn't have any civil rights. They should have just shot him on sight, but that's not the way it works. There's a lot of people that fought very hard a while back so that everyone can have equal civil rights. The justice system is really fucked up sometimes. I mean, he was still able to plead down to life in prison from capital punishment in the state of South Carolina. Federal court, not so much though. They just decided to kill him. Let's move on to another high-profile shooting that I'm seeing all the time. People are always commenting, well, why did they have to shoot this person? Why didn't they shoot this person? We're going to talk about Nicolas Cruz now, the 19-year-old that shot and killed 17 people at the high school in Florida. I see the comments all the time whenever there's a shooting of someone that was unarmed. People say, well, Nicolas Cruz killed 17 kids and police didn't shoot him. Think about it like this. You're a police officer in the area, you're patrolling around, you're still looking for this psycho on the loose, then you spot somebody matching the description walking down the road. A young man who's unarmed walking down the road. Do you jump out and start shooting him without IDing him first? No. What if you just killed some poor schmuck who happened to be wearing the same shirt? The officer who found him pointed his gun at him, gave him clear commands. He followed every single command while another officer came up and cuffed him. Am I defending these shitbirds? No, I'm defending information that's correct. Do I wish they would have pointed a gun at a cop and gotten blown away? Hell yeah. But that's just not how it worked out. You can find all my references to everything I just said in the description below. If there are any more questions, scenarios, or videos you'd like to go over, then hell, go on over to twitch.tv/DonutOperator, where I'm going to be streaming as soon as this video is uploaded. Everyone, this is Donut, and I hope you have a fantastic day.